All right, this is going to be recipe number 2 in the Guerrilla Cooking series. You guys chose that name. There you go. Now, this is also our second attempt at this video. We did do this out in the area where we were doing the security videos related to survival community, and when we watched it, it was completely drowned out with wind and that stuff in the trees, which didn't sound that bad when we were out there. So this is attempt number 2. So you're probably wondering, what is this recipe going to be? But obviously you already know it because you read the title before you clicked play. And this is going to be Canteen cup sauerkraut and pork. Now, this is a recipe that I've done personally quite a bit in the militia. It was quick and simple to do, as you're going to see. All you need for this is your canteen cup, fork, and a knife. This comes in handy depending on what type of pork you use. Now, I'll give you a quick note. You'll notice on the canteen cup here, you see the burn marks. If you have an older canteen cup, that's the style used in the 1960s, 50s, and 40s, and you see silver paint on it over the top of burn marks like this, that was an actual issued piece of equipment. My grandfather told me that when he served, when they got back from the field, they had to wash them up as best they could, but they were still expected to look all nice and shiny on the outside. So they used to spray paint them with silver spray paint. So little collector info there for you if you come across one. Now for this recipe, what you're going to need: a can of sauerkraut, and I prefer Frank's. I do not like Bavarian style. I prefer the traditional. This is an 8-ounce can. I did a video on these. These come in handy out in the field. And you need some type of pork. Now, the type I usually use is a 7-ounce can of Spam. This works the best for it, but you can use something else if you want to. You can use the individual Spam singles or use a couple of them if you can't find the cans, because these get harder to find now. You can use this, or if you so choose, you can go the route of Vienna sausages. Won't taste as good as the Spam, but hey, you're in the field trying to survive, it'll work. So first, what we're going to do, we're going to cut this. So open her up. This is where knife comes in handy, and usually I just slit it. Go down to the bottom of the can all the way across, down to the bottom all the way across, and then do some, go in the other direction. I find that this mixes better inside the canteen cup. So now we got cut, so then we're going to go through here. I always take the back side of my knife here, reverse it around the can to bust it away. Put the meat down on the bottom first. I know the meat's already cooked when it was canned, but it just seems to work better this way. So you'll end up with a bunch of little logs, little slices. If you're doing this, you could cut it into cubes, whatever you so choose. Now we take a can of sauerkraut, fork it in over the top. I usually start preparing this while the fire is starting. I'm just slowly getting it to go up from timber to a little bit bigger pieces. in either the Dakota smoke hole or, you know, just a little fire up on top of the ground that's sheltered from view as much as possible. Make sure to pour all the juice in here also. Get out as much of the kraut as you can, because remember, every little bit will keep you alive. If it'll cooperate here. Now, before I put it over the fire, add some water. Just add some water over the top here. There we go. About so much water. Put it over the flame. Let it cook, boil a few minutes. When you see, you know, a nice little boil going on top, a little bit bigger bubbles, not just the little ones, I usually consider it's ready then. And just take it off of the fire, pull out that fork you used, and start eating. Now, don't waste the juice or the water that's in there, your brine. Why? Well, for one, it's going to supply salt to your body, which you are going to need in a survival situation. It's one of the reasons why survival foods have such a high salt content. You got to replace that salt in your body so that your body will function properly. Otherwise, you can end up with water intoxication. Too much water getting into your body, not enough salt. Your brain starts misfiring and you start acting like you're drunk. This will get some more salt in your body. Plus, sauerkraut has very beneficial effects when it comes to your digestion and keeping you regular. So if you're feeling a little bit more stopped up, you haven't gone as often as you should in the field because of the diet that you're eating, maybe something like this will give it a little bit of a natural kickstart to kind of push stuff through. A meal like this, I definitely would think about eating if you've been eating nothing but MREs for a few days. You know, this might help get that MRE download moving at a high rate of speed into your field latrine as soon as possible. This is very simple, very easy to make. Let's do some calorie counts here before someone asks. Now the Spam is 180 calories a serving, 3.5 servings. About 630 roughly calories, 630 on the Spam. And on the sauerkraut, a can is 30 calories. So you're looking at it about around 650, 660 calories roughly from this one meal. It does fill you up. I will say that. It fills you up in the field and it stays in your stomach a while. It doesn't weigh you down like a ton of bricks, but it keeps you full and keeps you going a little bit longer and keeps you regular, which keeps you going a bit longer in the field also. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot Militia movements, always remember SA-ONS.